Yeah, Quizzipotamus. Yeah, wait, we're not at Quizzipotamus yet, Mr. Newbold. We're still doing word problems. Oh yeah, the quiz is after that. So let's go ahead and help you with word problems with trigonometry. Nice. So let's see here. So I got some tutoring there. Name drop Mr. Lucarini for helping me understand the difference between angle of elevation and angle of depression, and which we're not going to be depressed, we're going to be elevated during this assignment. Woo! So we learned that basically it's the horizontal line is what goes with the angle of depression and elevation, and not this angle. No, no, no. Let's see here. So number one, just to clarify that, and we do have Easton here. Easton Button, name drop. Yeah, go ahead and say hi again really loud.
Hi.
There we go. Okay, let's see here. So number one, we did that whole power line thing with the building and stuff like that. Here's our nice little building there. Here's our door. Okay, so it turns out then that for next year I'm going to cross out angle of depression because I didn't want that for this problem. Because the reason why is it says that at what angle is the wire connected at the building? Well, that would be right here. So this is the angle here. So instead of doing cosine, no, we're going to go ahead and say this is the opposite. So the opposite 260. And then they want to know, and then this is the hypotenuse, which is 340. And so not this one, no. So that means opposite over hypotenuse is going to be sine. So we're going to cross that out, and we're going to do inverse sine of opposite 260 over adjacent 340. And so, cool. So when we do that, that's going to give us a different angle for this problem. So I'm going to go inverse sine of 260 divided by 340. There we go. And so that's going to give us 49.88, which I like that better than this angle. Bleh. So we're going to go 49.88. I'll probably accept either of those answers for number one at this point. Round to the nearest tenth is 49.9 degrees. So either of those answers will probably work on the homework assignment. Just left them both as correct just for now, while we understand this problem a bit better. Okay, so if it was asking for the angle of depression, then it would be asking for this angle. But where we're actually trying to get the angle of where the wire is connected at the building, that would be this angle. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to jump down here to our clothesline with our two buildings. And we are going to actually use the angle of depression this time. This is going to help us. So we have a nice tall building and a shorter building, or they're the same height. We don't really know how tall the buildings are. The clothesline is connected from a window on one building to a window in another building across the alley. Awesome. Now it does tell us that that clothesline is 10 yards ling. Does that say ling? It's supposed to say long. Wow. With an angle of depression of 17 degrees. So angle of depression of 17 degrees. Okay. So what that means is always angle of depression is always horizontal. Let's write that down. So angle of depression or elevation always uses the horizontal line. So that's super duper important to know for all these problems where it says angle of depression always uses the horizontal line. Okay, so again, the clothesline is 10 yards long with an angle of depression of 17 degrees. Cool. Okay, so then clotheslines are usually straight across, right? So you can hang your clothes. Here's a little hanger, and you can hang your clothes. That's awful. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see here. So then, how far apart are the buildings? Well, it tells us the angle of depression is 17 degrees. And we want to know how far apart the buildings are. Call it X. Okay, and then the clothesline is 10 yards long. Now I'm confused again. Because now the clothesline is 10 yards long with an angle of depression of 17 degrees. Wow, so I guess the clothesline is at an angle or something. I do not like this problem. Wow. Let's see here, because we'll just say how far they are is how far this is, which is 10 yards, Newbold. Anyways, we'll just say the clothesline is at an angle. Okay, let's see here. So now we're going to go ahead and use, let's see here, here's our right angle. And so from 17 degrees, this is going to be the adjacent side, and this is going to be the hypotenuse. So we're going to go ahead and do cosine, because cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So we're going to go cosine of our angle, 17 degrees, is equal to adjacent x over hypotenuse 10. And then we'll go to multiply 10 to the other side, and this is going to give us how far apart they are. So 10 cosine 17 degrees. Please make sure that you're in radians. I mean degrees. Whoa, degrees. Sorry, degrees. Okay, so there's our degrees. There it is, 9.56. So we're going to go and say the distance is 9.56 yards. So 9.56 yards. There we go. And so 9.56, that's going to round to 9.6 yards. Beautiful. And the whole reason why we had to do it that way instead of the other way, like I liked it, is because of the phrase angle of depression, I guess. Don't really like that phrase, but okay. And again, angle of depression, whether it's here or like we just did it here, remember it's going to be the same angle. So this is 17 degrees what we did, and this is called the angle of the D word that we don't like to say. What the? It just means going down. I know, COVID, I'm still wearing a mask. Depression. No, but it's okay. You could see people, we could talk to people, get some help. Yeah, Utah safe tips. What the? Okay, so there's our answer. So I guess, yep, there's for number 2. Okay, beautiful. So another one that was kind of weird to make sure of was actually number 8. And again, it uses the word angles of depression. So we're going to have to do it differently than I did on my last video, so I'm remaking this one. So here's our parasailer there, if I can draw maybe kind of a good one, I don't know. There we go. Woo! By his head. Whoa. Okay, so he's parasailing above, so 75 meters above the lake. So here's 75 meters above the lake. Yeah, good picture, Newbold. Not. Wow, thanks. Okay, so let's see here. And the angle of depression are 12.5 and 7. How far apart are the boats? So he's looking at 2 boats. So we'll go ahead and say that we've got a boat right here. Nice. And then we've got another boat over here. Very nice. So there's our 2 boats. So then he's looking down at those 2 boats like this. And they're going to tell us the angles of depression. So angle of depression, again, uses the horizontal line, which in this case is our water. And this isn't a bigger angle, so I'm going to put 12 degrees here because it's a bigger angle. This is a smaller angle, and that's why I'm putting 7 over there. Because this is the smaller angle, right? Smaller angle. Goes with that smaller, so further away distance. How far apart are the boats? Okay, well, we already have this side, and so we're looking for x. So this would be the opposite side of where I am. Oh, no. The angle, remember the angle. So the angle, this is opposite, and this will be adjacent then. X equals adjacent. There we go. So we'll just call that x, x1 and x2. Nice. So x1 is that distance, and then x2 is actually the whole distance there. That's going to be x2 is the bigger distance. Cool. So let's do that smaller distance. So we're going to go ahead and do, what is opposite over adjacent? So it's tangent. So tangent of 12 degrees equals opposite 75 over adjacent x. And so, or just x. And so we're going to go ahead and put that in our calculator, but we're going to have to switch a roozy. So x is going to come up here, and tangent 12 is going to come down here to solve for x. So in our calculator, we're going to go ahead and do 75 divided by tangent 12. And that's going to give us a big old fat distance, which is better, yeah, it is, compared to what I had before. So 352.84, or just 352.8, rounded to the nearest tenth. So that's this distance of that boat right there. Let's go ahead and do a red line there. And then the other line will be this distance all the way across, which we're going to do next with the angle of 7. Awesome. And so that was, instead of doing 75 over tangent 12, now we're going to do 75 over tangent 7. And the reason why is because we're doing the smaller angle now, which is going to give us a bigger distance, which is what we need. So 610.8. So then this bigger long distance is 610.8. Let's go and use our blue pen there just to make sure everybody can see it. So 610.8. Nice. Okay, so now we're going to minus those two distances to give us this distance between the boats. So 610.8 minus 352.8. Very nice. Minus 352.8. Which gives us 258. A distance of 258. Awesome. So 258 is our distance between the two boats. And so that's going to be in meters. Meters. Beautiful. So there's number 8 to help you out there, and I did it correctly this time using the angles of depression. So you're going to do that same thing for number 9. Give that a try. Then there's number 10. Whoa, Solen Songer! Look at that, we did a problem with her in there. And so just to give you kind of a quickie topsy-turvy with the Yellowstone problem. So Solen visits Yellowstone and Old Faithful on a perfect day. So her eyes are 6 feet from the ground, and the geyser can reach heights ranging from 90 feet to 184. If she stands 200 feet from the geyser, which is right here, and the eruption rise is 175 feet. So first of all, this isn't to scale, just saying. There we go. So if the whole thing is 175 feet tall, right, but she's at 6 feet off the ground, so in order to get this distance, we're going to have to minus the 6 feet, and that's going to give us the 169. Okay, so that's where we got this from right here. Okay, so what is the angle of elevation to the top of the spray? And so that's this question mark right here. And so we are going to do inverse tangent because this is going to be opposite over adjacent, which is right there. Okay, so opposite over adjacent, so inverse tangent of 169 over 200. And so when we do that on our calculator, we get inverse tangent of 169 divided by 200 gives us an angle of elevation of 40.19 or 40.2. Rounded to the nearest tenth is our angle of elevation. Perfect. Okay, let's see here, just jumping around a little bit. So then we change it, and there's a Kirk, I guess, returns and tries to do it differently. So that's actually going to be, they give you an angle of elevation, which is 37 degrees. They tell you that it reaches a height of 123. Now don't forget, that's all the way to the ground. Be careful there, because remember they stood like 6 feet tall. So you're going to have to minus that 6 feet, and so this is actually 117. How far from the geyser is Kirk standing to the nearest tenth of a foot? So that means we want this distance right there. So go ahead and solve for that. That's going to be opposite over adjacent again, which is tangent. So tangent 37 equals opposite 117 over adjacent x. And then you have to switch a easy. X equals 117 over tangent 37. Okay, last but not least, here we go. Ooh, there's our shadow problem. So you can take a look there that we did opposite x. We did opposite x. is the tree, and the shadow is 14.3 meters, and the angle of elevation was 68 degrees. And so that means that we're going to do tangent of 68 equals x over 14 adjacent, 14.3 opposite over adjacent. And then we multiply that to the other side, plug that in our calculator, bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. Okay, last but not least, 13 and 14 are actually going to be area of a triangle. That's a different formula. So you're going to use 1/2 the side they give us, 150, times the other side they give us, 231, and then times the sine of the angle between the sides. And so that's how you do number 13 and 14, is just using our area formula for area of a non-right triangle. Non-right triangle equals that. Beautiful. So you can use 1/2, or you could even use 0.5 if you really, 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 really wanted to. So you could do 1/2 or 0.5 times 150 times 231 meters, and then times sine of, notice I used lots of parentheses there. There we go. And so we get an answer of, a big answer. So 14,529 to the nearest tenth is 14,530. 14,530. That's going to be meters. That's a lot of land. Nice. Cool. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. And watch my next video where we actually do go over and do the Quizopotamus. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Thanks for watching.